So my name is, where am I looking? I'm so sorry. Okay. We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you and me.
Okay. My name is Lydia Tesema.
The winner is Lydia Tesema.
I am an Ethiopian woman, born and raised in this city, Melbourne. Both of my parents come from different parts of Ethiopia, from two different tribes, the Oromo tribe and the Amhara tribe. And they met in Kenya, in Nairobi, just before they migrated to Melbourne in '91. And I'm a middle child of three girls. I'm a people's person to its core. I'm a deep thinker, a deep feeler. I'm creative, really analytical in the way that I think and approach life. And I'm very spiritual as well.
Yeah.
And I love my community and family. Lydia is someone who is existing and functioning at the intersection of a few different industries, like the entertainment and creative industry, the arts industry, I guess. Also the community sector and the government sector as well. At this time, Lydia is just a young 26-year-old woman who is ambitious and passionate about bringing things to life and is just trying to figure out how to do that with her unique circumstances. At this time, Lydia is existing as like a Black woman in a society that's paying more attention to Black women. And at this time, Lydia has there's a lot of weight to her words currently, based off the progression of her community and where she stands in it. And she has a lot of power to do a lot. So she is conscious of that and trying to figure out how to do it, pretty much. 2020 Lydia is very different to the Lydia today. But only so much in the actual tangible things that I've been able to do, because where my heart and intentions were in 2020 is still where it is today. 2020 is a year that I found my feet, probably as like the best that I had ever had since injuring my back in 2018. 2020 is the year that my first and only relationship ended. 2020 is the year that I launched into a social science degree, majoring in behavioral studies after rejecting law, which took a lot of courage to do. 2020 is the time where I was like, I finally know who I am, what I want to do, and I have all of this energy to do it now. But of course, as we know, COVID hit. So from memory, COVID happened in March 2020. My relationship ended in that month, the end of that month. I was planning to launch Below the Surface, which ended up launching in April. So I had already been meditating over this big vision, which was Below the Surface, for like months. And I guess my relationship ending marked a time where I knew myself more than ever in terms of what I wanted for myself. And I spent a long time as a young girl, like 21 to 23 and a half, like dealing with that back injury. So I ended up resting a lot and having to spend a lot of time with myself. And so by the time I got to a much more, I guess, higher capacity physically, it was like, and that was also accompanied with this spiritual growth as a person. I was just energetic. Let's get it done type energy. Yeah, like you mentioned, there was a build-up. I think a part of that build up, I would recognize it as like an energy, and it came from like a bit of frustration, maybe for where I was dissatisfied in my previous relationship, or frustration from the fact that I spent these years, a few years as a young woman who is really energetic, having to rest. There was a build up, there was this excitement around the fact that I have a certainty now about what I actually want to do. I've tried a few things, I've left things behind, I now know what I actually want to commit to. So all of these things I would describe as like this force and energy that was within me. But as you mentioned, like there was restrictions that came with COVID. I mean, we literally couldn't really go anywhere, you know? And I had launched my platform with this intention to do a lot of video content at the time. And then I was like, all right, how can I be engaging and explore the world around me with such limitation? So that's why I decided to start, like my first project essentially for Below the Surface was an online magazine that explored people's experience during lockdown. It was called the Quarantine Edition, and pretty much it had a mental health focus because I asked the same 3 questions to like 8 or 9 people, and they were pretty much like, what are you grateful for in light of coronavirus? What are you doing in isolation? And what are some words of encouragement? And that took my time for a little bit. That kept me going. So that was me trying to find ways to tap in with my community and how they were feeling and the world around me. On a personal level, that was the first time I had ever experienced peace, like whilst experiencing the ending of something that triggered an emotional response, like losing your best friend at the time, and then also experiencing peace because deep down you knew that was the right thing to do, was a bittersweet mixed emotion that I'd never really experienced. So it's weird because I learned a lot about life, and because I felt like I really searched within and through my God for that answer about what to do next. And I believe that I had that response and acted accordingly and experienced that peace. It was just like, I was actually in a good place. And it's weird because sometimes I would stop and be like, I should be really depressed right now. Why am I not? Like I literally lost someone that I thought I was gonna be with for forever. But then I guess that marked me realizing certain truths about this reality. It also helped me feel closer to God, and it helped me understand love and relationships on a deeper level too. So I was just becoming a more experienced, wiser woman with a deeper confidence in the God that I serve. So it was actually quite a beautiful time. And then with the lockdown, the world kind of had to stop, right? People talk about lockdown, this, that, whatever. I talk about this in my second lockdown. That's what I used to tell people because I was literally home-ridden when I got back from Thailand and ended up in hospital with my spinal injury. So I spent like 3 months at home, you know. So it's like, this was familiar territory. What? We back in the lockdown, let's go. This time everyone's joining me. Like I really felt like like even things like online uni. I remember a lot of people were now migrating onto like online uni, but for me, I'd already done this a year before because back injury led me to leaving Monash Law, joining Swinburne, and doing an online degree. So I was already in the groove of that. And yeah, previous to that year, I was doing community radio and I was working for the radio station as well. And this was like a radio station built off the back of Brimbank City Council. So I was also connected to the council. I was still working, I was doing projects and doing a lot of online work, and online forums were happening, especially in the community space. There was a lot of stuff happening online. So I just, to my surprise, literally was just busy throughout that whole lockdown period. It really helped to be connected to, like my journey has been great because like the community sector has always been there alongside this media journey. And they complement each other so well, especially when you consider the areas that I'm interested in, you know, community, people, society, psychology, business.
What did you take away from this whole season in your life? Yeah.
Ooh, this whole season, that a season in your life can change the trajectory of your life. A season in your life can transform everything and anything. In terms of what I took away from this whole thing, I guess, for one, in times of crises, you still can achieve a whole lot. It really is not. I actually started to recognize how in this time of crisis, people are flying, thriving, starting new things, are very energetic about it. People are functioning from a place of like maybe more appreciation for life, you know what I mean? Because they're seeing how things could just change or nothing is certain, you know? So I feel like bad times doesn't mean you stop. Bad times means you push harder, you really confront and interrogate what you want. And bad times can launch you into really good times. It's something that I learned. And it can set you on a trajectory for success too. Because I've had periods of time where I failed to apply myself as much as other times, but then I managed to build momentum at one stage, which is filled in for the time where I'm struggling to apply myself. So it's like, and that's why they say if you spend 6 months or a year just head down applying yourself, can change your whole life. And I also took away an appreciation for genuine relationships. Because as we saw, like all your surface level friendships, there was no time, energy, care to cultivate that, to water that in any way. But we did still need connection, we did need reassurance, we did need those things from people that, you know, are suitable for that. So it's like I realized the power in quality connection and how like numbers doesn't mean anything. And I don't look for numbers, but that's been my life. Numbers, just because I'm naturally a people's person. I have a lot of acquaintances. We ain't gonna call them friends. Grown past that, Lids. Grown past that. But yeah, and I don't even mean that in a shady way. I think I've just realized a lot of things about life. So in my early 20s, I experienced like a lot of people a shedding of the people they spend time with or grew up with in high school. And some of it was naturally distancing, some of it was, or actually one or two of them might have been actual fallouts, which were very emotional experiences at the time. But I think getting to a point where I realized a lot of my high school friends aren't actually aligned to the adult Lids, you know, the Lydia who knows herself more, the Lydia who's on her path. So I guess I became super intentional about building the right network of people. Like I prayed dangerous prayers. God, please give me the right people to be my friends. And then like get rid of the ones that don't need to be there too. That's a dangerous prayer because God will do it. And he did it. Yeah. But it results in more quality friendships and feeling more supported and known and loved. And I had new people walk into my life for that period. But to answer your question again, it's like, how do I do it? It's like character is such a big thing for me. So as much as like I have this tolerance and compassion for people, I'm actually quite stubborn in who I spend time with and who I actually let in, because I'm really big on character. If I don't like the way you move by way of like the major ways that you do things, such as deal with people or your integrity as a person, we won't get close. Yeah. One project, so I'm really passionate about Below the Surface. It's something that is taking a lot of time. And it's because I'm so consumed by the things that I'm doing as Lydia Tesema. Because Below the Surface to me represents the thing that I'm building for the next generation. It's so far a lot of what I do, the credit, the attention, it comes back to me. But I realized that I'm in a position to actually build a structure for the next generation of people. That's a really important project for me, like space, physical space, and existing in one that allows me to welcome people and nurture people and pour into people, whether through my experience, my skill set. That's something that I'm really passionate about. It's Lydia, and then below the surface, it's Lydia, then ownership. It's Lydia, then global stages. It's Lydia, then motherhood, or marriage, and then motherhood. It's Lydia, and then whatever God has in store for Lydia.
Yeah.